Welcome to the hotline for today, Thursday, the 26th January 2023. Always good having you. We know you have choices. We're very happy when you come here, and we are even happier that you find reasons to stay. This is the hotline. We are into some very interesting times at the moment. And I cannot caution myself enough, nor can I caution you. I know that in this dispensation of immediacy, some of us are quick to jump on a sentence, on a paragraph, and come to conclusions. And it is so dangerous, especially now with this heist in relation to Stocks and Securities Limited. It is so dangerous because, as we know, and because we've had confirmation from the finance minister preliminarily that for the last 13 years a particular state of affairs appears to have existed at SSL. And as a result of that state of affairs, I think we all are deserving of answers, but one cannot get answers in a very short period of time, or comprehensive answers in a very short period of time, for an action that, or for omission or inaction over a period of 13 years and probably counting. And I think we have to resist the urge to come to the conclusions I hear a lot of people coming to. I want to caution the Financial Investigation Division. I want to caution CTOC. I want to caution whichever other investigative entities on this. Be very meticulous in what you do. And I know that those entities have not been saying much outside of the first one or two releases that have been put out. And I think the finance minister has been giving some information to the public, because in this time, the balance, though difficult to be reached, it is necessary for some balance to come. So some information is necessary. But more importantly, I think we all have to be cautioned that some of the information that we need to get will require painstaking time, dedication, meticulous devotion to detail, and a proper understanding of, one, the information that is had, and two, the context of everything before we come to conclusions. Yeah? Media, we have a tremendous role to play. And we have a commendably insatiable appetite for deep dive into information. And we have to give it. We have to give it to the public. And in this new age, sometimes people don't even want edited information. They want things in full, but we all have to be very careful about how we publish what we publish, because the casualties of this heist will be larger than we even anticipate at the moment. And because we don't know what we're in for, our caution at every step of the way has to chip in. Yeah? I heard a lot of people on Sunday, for example, when the article came out, where two former chief executive officers of SSL were quoted in the newspapers as saying that they did not know that Usain Bolt had an account at the entity. And the myriad of views that were expressed, some to the point where, and then we came to learn thereafter that Usain Bolt is really not the investing entity. And in fact, in the legal arrangements, whatever those are to come, Usain Bolt is not a legal personality for the purposes of bringing a lawsuit in this matter, if one is to be brought. A company has a separate legal personality from the individuals behind the company. In many instances, as defined by various laws, you can lift the veil and look to see who is behind that. So, because the company by itself has to have people behind it, any signing of documents for the purposes of bringing a claim, for example, will have to be signed perhaps by a managing director or somebody who has the authority to sign on behalf of the company. But it is the company that is going to be the litigant. So I think all I'm saying is we really have to open our minds to possibilities unknown before we come to conclusions in this maze of information, in a misinformation age, and the collecting of documents over a 13-year period. Yeah? And again, many reputations gonna end up in a wheelchair. And people have to know that some people will seek to defend their reputation to the end of the earth, as is their right if they had one before. So some things that people think just asking a question, any question is allowed, simply because you're asking a question. No, that's not the case really, because sometimes there are loaded imputations in the question. Yeah? And one has to be aware of the laws that seek to protect people who are entitled to having a reputation. Just as there are laws to protect people who put their hard-earned cash in investment and who have a right to reaping the results of the investment subject to market condition depleting the interests or indeed the principal. And that is why when people share their opinions as to whether particular administrations are to be faulted, then other members of the party mustn't take offense to it. Everybody have a right to their opinion. Never mind that it is not the practice in this jurisdiction for a former prime minister to comment on whatever has happened. But you see, history is to inform the present. Because as I vaguely recall it, I think Mr. Golding was one of the very few leaders who tried to clip the wings of Everett Warmington. One of the very few. So Mr. Warmington no plan peace align with Mr. Golding. Plus Mr. Warmington might not join church. So he will say whatever he wishes, as is his right. So last night, now, imagine my surprise when I learned through the finance minister that the Director of State Proceedings and other counsel instructed by the Director of State Proceedings, they were forced to go to court. Yesterday, they went to court without notice to seek various injunctions against Stocks and Securities Limited. And it appears that individuals connected with Stocks and Securities in one way or the next, they're named as defendant in the order of the court. Why has this arisen? The finance minister tells us that there was an attempt made to undertake a members' voluntary winding up of Stocks and Securities Limited. And so the FSC, in undertaking its statutory role, obtained court orders to restrain SSL, the purported trustee of SSL and directors of SSL. So I have to go dust off my company's law book, which is, it's so hard to read. The act itself, it's a relatively thick book, and you have to read academic work to understand Jamaica's Companies Act. But a section of the Companies Act 272 tells us a company may be wound up voluntarily when the period, if any, fixed for the duration of the company by the articles expires. So the articles is the constitution of the company. So sometimes you have some company, they have a fixed duration based on the article, and when the time expires, then they can go into voluntary winding up. Or the event, if any, occurs on the occurrence of which the articles provide that the company is to be dissolved. And the company in general meeting has passed a resolution requiring the company to be wound up voluntarily. So it seems to me that SSL ought properly, based on this, to have had a general meeting. They passed a resolution requiring SSL to be wound up voluntarily. And this resolution must be by special resolution. And I think even in the law, the passing of a special resolution, there are certain ways in which that needs to be done. Yeah, as to when this meeting was held, it would be good to find out. But this entire process now of the voluntary winding up is a cheaper process and a quicker process that they go to engage with the company's office. There's no court involvement. You look to your articles, you see the triggers that would cause the voluntary winding up. You have a general meeting, you pass your special resolution, and you also appoint trustee. So, based on this document, let me see who the trustee. I'm not sure who the trustee, maybe the trustee is the first defendant, which is, I don't know, because the actual formal order of the court doesn't say who the trustee is, but the special resolution in that general meeting, trustee would and should be appointed. Now, there's another thing that needs to happen. Where it is proposed to wind up a company voluntarily, the directors of the company, or in the case of a company having more than 2 directors, the majority of the directors may at a meeting of directors make a statutory declaration to the effect that they've made a full inquiry into the affairs of the company and that having so done, they have formed the opinion that the company will be able to pay its debts in full within such period not exceeding 12 months from the commencement of the winding up as specified in the declaration. So me don't really like to see this declaration here. So you're telling me that in the face of what we know now, in the face of the letter which was sent to FSC on or around the 10th of January 2013, where SSL made certain statements about the state of affairs at the entity and which caused FSC to step in and to start regulating its affair, that round about the same time, the directors of the company met and prepared a statutory declaration signaling that they have made full inquiries into the affairs of company, and having done so, they formed the opinion that the company will be able to pay its debts in full, which is one of the only bases on which they could seek to do the voluntary winding up. The law says a declaration made as aforesaid, this is a statutory declaration, shall have no effect for the purposes of this act unless it is made within 5 weeks immediately preceding the date of the passing of the resolution for the winding up of the company, and it is delivered to the registrar for registration. We have to get a lot more on this. Any director of the company making a declaration under this section without having reasonable grounds for the opinion that the company will be able to pay its debts in full within the period specified shall be liable to imprisonment with or without hard labor for a period not exceeding 6 months, or to a fine not exceeding $50,000. Well. I have to get some help on this because, as I said, I may be misreading this Companies Act because it is not the easiest thing to read. Yes? And it takes you to other sections now, to the members' voluntary winding up and the whole process. But the point is that whatever it is that happened, the Financial Services Commission had wind of it. And as a result of that, the attorneys for the state have had to intervene with haste. And they've got the requisite injunctions restraining the FSC, restraining Stocks and Security rather, Acadian Campbell, Hugh Croskery, Lawrence Adamson, and Peter Nibb, their servants or agents, including but not limited to Jeffrey Cobham, Mark Croskery, Acadian Campbell, Sarah Meany, or howsoever otherwise from disposing or dealing in any assets in its name or client's name, wheresoever situate, or from withdrawing or transfer or otherwise dissipating any funds from any accounts. The law is a beautiful thing. And I am happy that there are processes that can kick in, especially in a situation like this. Because whatever is provided for in the articles of SSL and whatever the directors think they could properly do based on the articles I think this, if correct, because remember now, this was an ex parte application. So I think the learned judge who heard this application, the Honorable Mrs. Justice S. Jackson Hazley, some information must have been provided to her demonstrating that the declaration of solvency was made by the directors of SSL and that they'd commenced the voluntary winding up, indicating to the company's office that they could make good in a very short time, having had knowledge of the extent of the debt. They could make good, and having had wind of that, they moved to get the injunction. Mark you, I think in the same law, if you proceed by voluntary liquidation, voluntary winding up, and it is realized that somehow it's just not feasible, it just can't happen that way, then I think the matter can be transferred to proceedings under the Insolvency Act, which has a whole different sort of regime. So it's just fascinating watching what's going on. This is the Hotline. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the Hotline. I really need to I need to go I need to go remind myself fully about this process here, to help myself, to help you. And let me just make sure we get the process. So, the voluntary winding up, this is what we understand the SSL was attempting to do. The directors of the company at a board meeting, they'll make a statutory declaration to the effect that they have made full inquiry into the affairs of the company and that they're of the opinion that the company will be able to pay its debts in full within 12 months from the commencement of winding up. Within 5 weeks of making the statutory declaration, and a statutory declaration, they have if you make misrepresentation on a statutory declaration, as you heard, it's a proscribed thing. There's one frowns on it. Within 5 weeks of making the statutory declaration, the company at a general meeting will pass a special or extraordinary resolution as the circumstances demand for the winding up of the company. And then they deliver a copy of the statutory declaration to the registrar of the company within 5 weeks of making it. So I'd love to know when the statutory declaration was made. And then the company shall, within 14 days after the passing of the resolution, give notice of the resolution by advertisement in the Gazette and in writing to the registrar. Anybody saw this notice anywhere? I'd love to know if it's out there. Within 14 days after the passing of the resolution, give notice by advertisement in the Gazette and in writing to the registrar. Once a resolution is passed, the winding up has commenced, and the company must cease to carry on its business except so far as may be required for beneficial winding up. And so at that time, no transfer of shares can take place. In the statutory declaration, some things we need to look for. You have to get a statement of the company's assets and liabilities as at the latest practicable date before making the declaration. And then in a general meeting, now the company shall appoint one or more trustees for the purpose of winding up the affairs and distributing the assets of the company. And it may also fix remuneration of the trustees. On appointment of the trustee, the power of the director shall cease except authorized by general meeting or the trustee. If the trustee must call a meeting of all creditors, if he discovers that, contrary to the statutory declaration, the company will not be able to pay its debt in full within the stated period. So the trustee also has a duty to call general meeting at the end of each year before the final dissolution of the company. As soon as the affairs of the company are wound up, the trustee, they have to make up an account of the winding up, showing how the winding up has been conducted, the property of the company, for the purpose of laying it before, laying out the accounts and giving an explanation. And even that meeting, it must be advertised in the Gazette and in one daily newspaper. So, I don't understand how, under the circumstances here, as we do not yet understand them to fully be, this course was considered. But my understanding is not complete because it's a lot of information that is not yet out there. So, what do I say? Wind up start, FSC block. This is the hotline. 876-926-2178, 926-8663, 192-67615, and 1-888-991-2080. Let me hear what you have to say. This is the hotline. Oops. Sorry, 2178. Morning.
Good morning, lady.
Who is this?
Yes, good morning. I want to say something about what the government...
This is Willie. Is Willie?
That they apply to wrongdoers.
This is Willie?
Yes, Willie.
Yes.
The stiffer penalties, like the murderers and the killers and the wrongdoers. Mm-hmm. And I am so glad that the opposition agrees with them also. Yes, I know it may be a little notch there for the lawyers who it seems to me as if when a man gets long sentence, they will have long sentences. They will have less jobs and things like that. Don't take me out of that. Don't accuse me of trying to say lawyers need job and man must. And if a man if people don't do wrong things, then a lawyer is just job for lawyers. Just like if you don't get sick or anything like that, less job for the doctor.
We have only a company for go wind up, you know.
Pardon me?
We can go appear for companies that need winding up outside of voluntary winding up and all that.
Okay.
So that's not the only reason lawyer take objection. The law is interesting, but the idea of statutory minimum, which is what you're talking about, statutory minimum for offensives,
yeah,
they're quite fine, meaning they don't offend our constitution. So says the Privy Council, so accepted by the Court of Appeal in several decisions here.
I understand all that. Because right now, this country could be more prosperous and more better for all of us. No, if
with what? With longer sentences?
Yeah, longer sentences and let man stay out of jail. I mean, people must realize must stay out of prison and make the country go on.
Yes.
So everybody can live in peace, man.
So we need to find out what is causing this propensity to commit crimes. That's what we need to try and change. We need somebody to turn a switch somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know if the switch is to be turned in the womb. I don't know if it's to be turned in the crib. Somewhere something needs to flip.
Have to.
Yeah.
Because when I look, listen, right now we have the what's kind of one in the country. The remittance from abroad. The tourist industry, the mining industry, and if you go on like that, if you don't mind, a few tourists go down other countries are telling Jamaica that want to hear this now. They warn their citizens don't come to certain places in the country.
Yeah, well,
some of them even tell them the citizens come to Jamaica because of crime. You can't do that. And keep on doing that, and we're going to get hurt. We see when we're going to get hurt, you know.
yes, we're already being hurt. The interesting thing is that when the Canadian government put out their advisory, their prime minister was here vacationing.
Okay, all right.
And he went back safely. Nobody no trouble him. But it doesn't take away from the fact that we have problems for our own here. And we have to fix it. But look here, Willie. Thank you for the call. I have to go to the break.
All right, go ahead.
Take care. This is the hotline. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. I have Mr. Hines on the line there.
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, Mrs. Shields. Not bad at all.
Yes, I heard you came here.
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
Right, tell me what's the problem and how we can help.
Well, Mrs. Shields, I have an heart problem
Yeah,
in which I hear my heart keep beating in my ears.
but that's good.
That is good, Mrs. Shields?
Means you're alive
Okay.
and kicking.
Yeah.
Your heart strong.
Yeah, but I go
Trang.
That's true, Mrs. Shields?
Where you say hear it? In your ears?
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
If you were hearing it in your nose, you would have a problem. So the ears working well,
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
the heart working well.
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
As I heard Mr. Warmington say, so why on earth? Why on earth you have a problem then, Mr.
Well, the doctor told me that is not good for me at all.
What is not good for you?
Hearing it, my heart beat, chomps in my ears. That simply means something is wrong with my heart because it's not
Oh, so how loud is it?
very loud, Miss Shields.
All the time you hear it?
All the time, Miss Shields.
How it sound?
Boop, 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 boop,
Oh.
boop.
So what they say you need to do now?
Well, I go to the doctor at UC and they checked me and they told me that I had to do an ultrasound and as a blood test. And I got the blood test done, but the ultrasound test, I'm a member of the society, Society for the Blind, Person for Persons with Disability. And I told them, and they told me that I must go and get an invoice from UC and bring to them.
This is the disabilities office?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I do so,
Yes.
and after I bring back that paper to them, they told me that I cannot get assistance until 6 months' time, and that is not certain. There's no certainty that I will get that assistance.
And this is simply for you to do the ultrasound?
You're right, Mrs. Shields.
So the machine at UE is working,
Yes, Mrs.
but they need to be paid?
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
No, but
in which the cost
yes.
is $6,000.
What, US?
No, Mrs. Shields, Jamaican dollars.
What you said to me? Call SSL for me there. Let us find out. We must can get back 6,000 out of SSL for pay for this or something, yeah. No, but that is chicken feed now.
Yes, but
Mr. Hines, yes, I know for you it's a lot.
all right.
So we need to get you to do this ultrasound. I'm sure the minister told me that you can do these things, and there's a fund there. Anyway, we're going to get it sorted.
Yes,
by the
Shields.
grace of God.
In which I need also cane, and I told them about my cane.
You need a cane?
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
This is what now? This is sugar cane or what?
No, this is a cane that I use to feel and walk with.
Oh.
I'm a person.
I heard you say you have yes.
Yeah, I can really go around, help myself. So
okay.
I always walk with a cane.
Okay, so you need a cane.
Yes,
and you need some help to get this ultrasound done.
Yes, Mr.
Well, we're gonna claim it before it happens. We're gonna claim it for you, Mister. You have such good spirit, you know that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, man. Good vibes. You have a good energy about you.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and see why is your heart beating in your ears.
Yes, Mrs. Shields.
Yes.
Because look here, Mrs. Shields.
Yeah.
As a friend, he's gone to America right now, and he has the same problem. Yes, we both learn trade together. Do the same work, and right now he's in America.
Yes.
To really deal with the same problem, in which he is much more serious than me because he walk and he drop down at times.
Wow.
So he has to go to America to do his
Yeah. I wonder what they call that thing with the heart beating so you can hear it so loudly in your ears.
I don't know what it is, Mrs. Shields, but it's very, it sounds very much, what you'd call it now, annoying.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like I'm going to faint.
Wow.
Yeah. When it attacks me, I feel like I'm going to faint.
Yes.
So the doctor really said that I should do an ultrasound.
Yes,
so,
well, you claim the victory. I have a message here from somebody who said they will pay and they will drop off the money tomorrow. We will just double check with the... So we're at the university. Yes, I told you this. This is the Diagnostic and Interventional Radiology Department.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right, we'll just double check on them.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we will come back to you and we will get the cane. Yes. I'm sure, get the cane to you.
Yes, sir.
We'll get all of your details, you hear?
Yes, Mrs.
Because Christmas have to come for you now.
Okay, yeah? Mrs. Sheila.
Christmas have to come.
Yes, Mrs. Sheila.
All right. Hold on for me. Let's make sure we have all of your details. I think Anaki does have, but just make sure we have everything for you, okay?
Yes, Mrs. Sheila.
Consider it done. All right?
Yes, Mrs. Sheila.
Hold on, Mr. Hines. Hold on.
I'll do so, Mrs. Sheila.
Yes, take care. DT. Sugar cane. You know Todai? Todai cane. Sweetest thing. Them have the Todai and them have the one that I think we call it uniform. That had the stripe, the pink stripes coming down.
Yes. A red stripe.
Red stripe?
Yes. Red stripe cane.
You're a red stripe man or is a Heineken man?
Red stripe cane.
Red stripe cane.
Cane, yes.
Yeah, red stripe too. Red
Stick
stripe.
with the red stripe.
No, but Todai really had these eyes that looked like the eyes of Toad, but goodness, it was so sweet in the country. And then the what you call the space between each of the bulbs.
The joint?
The joints.
Yeah.
Between the joints. Yeah. Somehow our Todai cane in the country, the area between the joint was so tiny. So you don't really have much to eat unless you go eat the bone.
You don't need the knife to cut it. You just...
No, man, that one, it's so soft. You can, at the time, you could use your teeth
to... You can just tear into it with your teeth.
But nobody will get me do that again.
Why not?
But all cane. You ever wash cane before you eat it yet?
Come to think of it, no. Never. And we used to tear the cane with our teeth.
Yes, and the cane trash, not
the skin.
The skin. But it's not skin them call it.
Yeah.
We used to chew it up and suck it out, you know. For we system drank.
Just eat everything.
Morning to you, Bigger Ford. Good morning to you. What a beautiful spirit Mr. Hines has. God sent us different angels in different forms and we just have to recognize When they come. That's why I tell you, say, you see this thing here? What seem like little money for you is somebody 12 million. You hear me? So when we're talking about quantum is relative to people's means. This is the hotline. Let me see who else I have here. 9262178. Morning.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Morning.
Hi, turn your radio down and come to me, please, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm okay.
Who is this?
Totally discreet.
Totally discreet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell you what comes to my mind when you talk about discreet, but go ahead, totally discreet.
Yeah, I've been holding my breath for the last 24 months.
Wow. Why?
Well, I need to find my key or my gate pass to your heart. Yeah. Because you allow comrade to
Hold on a moment. Put my husband on the line there for me, DT. I think this gentleman wants to speak to my husband.
No.
No?
No.
You come here openly to proposition me?
It's more than that. That's an understatement. I've been holding my breath.
For 24 months.
The last program you did 2 years back. I was the caller who called before, comrade, and I was telling you that I'm dedicating the Luther Vandross. How deep is your love? And then you ran me away. I even told you about Mark Griffith. I'm going to give you love. Mark my word. And you say you're going to give me no love.
And you come back 24 months later.
Been holding my breath, calling every Thursday and Friday. One time, look, you disappear. No Thursday, no Friday.
Running away from you.
Yeah, I'm saying I go mad out. When me look now, January come on in my ear and I say, okay then.
So you come back?
Yeah, because comrade said it was the Bee Gees who did the song and all of that.
Yes.
Yes, that's another version.
Fascinating. Good to hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
The love is returned. Because unrequited love is something, you know? Yes, love not returned is quite a bad thing. What else is on your mind?
The girl that hung herself at the time, what is the position?
Which one?
In the cell in St. Anne, I believe. Or St. Anne.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. There's some rough times for people, you know?
Yeah. Terrible.
And I think we have to. The time is so hard. Totally discreet. I mean, honestly, every second of the day, I don't know about you, but I have to decide every second, what can I take on now? Yeah, with the multitude of things that's coming, and you literally have to just focus on what you're doing and get to the other stuff as soon as you can, just to cope. And I think,
one thing,
yes. So I don't know.
Okay.
But it's good to hear you. Thank you for the call, comrade. We'll have many words for you when he calls.
Well, anywhere I see comrade, I have to take the left side of the road, and if him see me on the right, he must come off.
Thank you for the call.
Okay, ma'am.
Take care. Have a great day. This is the hotline. George, Greeny boy, what is this you said? Something. This Radio Jamaica thing. Special offer. Wonder if, okay, looks like J.A. Cynic has told him that the hotline is the place to be, and it appears that he has downloaded the app, Radio Jamaica app, on the Google Play Store so that he can listen to this program. So he's put up a picture of it. That seems to be it. I don't know. Erica, I do have the best callers. It's so fascinating, and I just love them. The color, the personality. It's beautiful. Headlines time. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. All right. I'm coming back to your calls. 876-926-2178. I think we need to talk to Minister Chang. I did promise the listeners we'd come back to this traffic ticket matter because today is the 26th, just some few days to go before the end of the month, and the new regime is to kick in. And I think under the new law, you can't renew driver's licenses if you have outstanding tickets. And if you have outstanding tickets and you pay them up or you make appearance in court, then before the end of the month, then the penalties or the demerit points and so forth won't follow you. Incidentally, I think I heard in the parliament the other day where Transport Minister Audley Shaw, there was first reading of a particular, can't remember what it is, some regulations to give effect to the intention of the minister in relation to the traffic ticket matter. So we have a lot of questions and a lot of people going to the traffic courts across the various parishes, and people sort of expect that they're going to be walking into some mall and they're going to be served the moment they go in. The court process doesn't work like that. Some people asking why they have to go all the way to St. Mary or to St. Elizabeth or to Westmoreland to go and pay a traffic ticket and all sorts of things. But all of these things governed by law. And an infringement that is committed in one parish is not going to be tried in another parish. I mean, traffic matters, unless it's a criminal matter and the DPP prefers what they call a voluntary bill of indictment to bring it up to the Supreme Court is a different thing, but not in relation to traffic. So I think Minister Chang, let us know when you can come and talk to us. 2178. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how do you do?
I am doing wonderful. And yourself?
Very well, thank you. Who is this?
This is Benton Martin.
Yes. Welcome.
I'm calling from Hanover. Is this RGR radio station?
Yes, it is.
I am calling about a problem which we have had here for many moons.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had water in our pipes for, I don't know when. The amount of water me personally bring on top of this hill, if it turn over, it drown everybody down the bottom. It is crazy.
How long you living on this hill?
All my life.
Which is how long?
60 odd year.
Oh. And how high is this hill now?
Huh?
How high is the hill?
It's high now, but water can come up here because the water come up at times, you know?
Oh, it come up at times.
Yeah, so once in a while it will come up. When you kind of
mm-hmm.
well, I would even mention the things that we do in order to get some water on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are, what do I say? What strength labor? Encouragement?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so but really it's getting, you know what I mean, it's civilized time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have flush toilet, I have to take bucket with water to flush the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not pleasant at all.
So if water was up there, then there's a pump that takes the water up there. So what does NWC say the problem is?
Well, there's a pump down in an area called Lagood, and that's where the water is coming from. But it's not coming up. It's not coming up fast enough.
Yes.
And sometimes for weeks we don't get any water. Months.
Hold on a second. Hold on, please, Mr. Martin. Let's see who we can get from NWC to find out what is happening for
Lances Bay.
Lances Bay.
Yes.
In Hanover. And what's the population of this hill?
About 500 people.
Wow.
Or more.
Yeah.
I mean, a tank of water costs me $8,000.
And it lasts how long?
3-4 weeks.
Wow.
I have to minimize on my water, in the sense that I have to shower and collect the water. If I wash, I have to collect the water.
That's not too bad to water plants.
Well, water plants and do different stuff. I
Yes.
mean, that's okay to do that.
Yeah.
But the point is that it's been done because...
Yeah. You have no alternative, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got you. Let's see what's happening down there. So what you said, NWC said?
Well, they're saying that the system needs to be, well, when they want to send it up, they send it up. I would put it like that.
No,
system,
no. Is there a pump problem? Because they can't control it every single day. There's nobody sitting down regulating it. So something must be inherently wrong.
Yes, but at the same time, what I'm saying to you, is that there are times when encouragement and the line will be open and water come up for a day or two.
Yeah, so, right. We have to find out why that happened.
Let's talk to them and let's hear what them say.
Yeah. No, but you over these 60 years, certainly from your 45, 42, when you get to the age of majority, you didn't ask any questions.
I have been asking questions
Answers?
for the longest time. I remember when I used to be the president of the community group and I used to go over there, I spoke with them.
Yes.
We tried to offer to buy a water pump to put at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
And so the water can come up, but they didn't accept that at all.
So what have they said in recent times?
Well, they said the water can come up.
Yeah.
They said they will allow the water to come up 1 or 2 or 3 days a week. But it hasn't been happening either.
Okay. That's fine. Lance's Bay, this is in Western or Eastern?
Western Hanover.
Yes. All right. Let's see what we can get you here, Mr. Martin.
Yes.
We're going to try and reach NWC.
Okay, thanks.
Take care. This is the hotline 7615. Good morning. Coming up at 10:30, we have a feature
Good
there.
morning, Miss
Let's
Hill.
talk land. Hi, how are you?
Not bad, Miss Hill.
Wait. Who is this? Bird Cup?
No, ma'am. Orgil.
Oh, Orgil. Yes. You kind of sound like Bird Cup a while ago. Orgil, good to hear you.
Yes, Miss Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position now, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And first time people said, yeah, sir, turn up the radio most. I might turn up the radio machine, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you hear me now?
I'm hearing you, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position and I need help. When I say help, personal help. I need the Honorable Mr. Chuck. I need to speak to him, ma'am. I need to have a meeting.
What's the problem?
Well, I have a court here, and the judge them says to reach a certain point and they say they can't do nothing more to it.
No, but the Mr. Truck can't help you. You need to go appeal. You need to get lawyer to go appeal. Mr. Truck can't intervene there, so you know. Mr. Truck cannot intervene into law business when case they are court, you know. Because if him intervene, him dead in a public opinion, and rightly so. And he cannot. You ever hear them talk about separation of powers? That's what they mean. Yes, that's what they mean. What judge do? Judge do because judge feels say it right. No politician, no minister can go tell judge.
But me not have no money to
well, you have to go to the legal aid and see what they can do, but that
because,
is not.
Yeah, I explain it to you. Let's explain a little part. A little part. Because I have a case and I carry to the court. I do some work for a person, and the person now don't want to really pay certain amount of money to do work. And I carry to court, and the court send me to mediation.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the mediation. When I went to the mediation said I have to go back to the court. They denied to go back to the court.
Yes, because it wasn't successful.
Yeah, go back to the court. But a part of it is like me and the person come to a part of it. But it's like no, she can go any time because she's on flight risk. So that's like, she's on flight risk, man.
Flight risk?
Yes, ma'am. She can go anytime. I can't person.
Yes, she can go away because it's not a criminal matter. No stop order, not an hour. It's a civil matter you have, you know. Meaning it's a thing between party and party. It's a case between a private citizen and an ex-private citizen.
Yeah, but if you have to go on, it's a job at the time. I was some person.
No, I understand that. I understand, but the court has to decide, one, whether there was a proper contract between you and the person. Two, if there was a contract, how much money you're supposed to get paid.
Yeah.
And three, then the court will rule. So the person can travel all them want. If them go away and miss court date, then you can get judgment against them in their absence. And then after that, you have to go look how you're going to enforce the judgment.
But how they going to come back to Jamaica? And
you know, she not have to come back. She not have to come back.
What point I want to give you? If some person work with me on the job, that job I supply, and some person work with me on the job, I owe them the money from last year. And them don't, every time them come, not every day, but every time they come and ask for them money. And I need the money to pay them. And the lady can't go away anytime because she have her son and other children in America where she can't go anytime. And the place that I work on, I get to find out that she has the place to pay the 4 million, 5 million she has the place to pay. And she can't go out anytime.
I understand that.
When it work out, me feel me no want me and people, me too old enough with me and people that problem that things go further and they realize anything can happen. So I want to know now, away from murder, rape, drug, it's only them thing that a person stop at that can put from mom.
No, but certainly your matter, which is a civil case, where you are literally suing somebody for money, it is not a case where a stop order can put on that person. As I say, if you go to court and the person don't come because them gone overseas, you can still get judgment even though them not their court. When you get the judgment, you can go see if you find any of them assets and get order to sell the asset to get how much the judge award you. So you're sort of not without remedy. But a stop order don't come in a case like that. And Mr. Truck can't help you.
Well-learned person means and ignorant and dumb.
No.
Put it to you.
Not ignorant and dunce at all.
And however, I look a point again, ma. I and the lady, we come to an agreement to search money. But I had to have a lawyer who I put on the case to really set up a paper and get it to court. And pay money for person and money. Is that the judge said she can't do nothing towards that. That part of the money. But the other part, man, I was telling me it come to a certain agreement. I was with a hard woman, not telling me, me tell me explain that part to you. Because one night time, when we reached to the mediator, and I'm going to explain about that. This is to me $80,000 that I could pay the men then. Balance, so I could pay the men then. And it says mediator, I said, how much is it? He said, you can pay $100,000 a month. And $1,000 a month you can pay the court to pay the people.
No, and look here now.
Yeah,
no. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
You see, when you go mediation,
yes, ma'am.
Whatever you discuss on mediation, it's private. You're not supposed to come talk it. At all.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
That's why I'm stopping you.
And I'll go back to the court and I tell the judge, all right, we agree to that little part here. I tell the judge, well, all right, then I owe the lawyer to set up a paper. That's the way you call that.
The agreement.
Yes, to go to court.
Huh?
And I ask the lawyer, say, if the lawyer can really, I can get back the lawyer money that I can really cover back some part. And she said she can't manage that. That's what the judge said to me. So, no, we got me confused and upset and everything now. I'm not telling the truth. And I hear more than you, Christian, and say, well, if you have a problem, you try to teach somebody to really help you to more than to kill you with a certain stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to reach a certain stage. Me take a, me 2 years every month to reach.
Yes, they call a stage out of your mind.
Me supposed to have come from down the road and instead of there about this and that down the road and this time I live. And right now I'm in a full problem. I don't know what to do. I mean, I have no more money to save up anything.
Mm.
But if I just have to get that, the lawyer, the money back. When I was in mediation, the mediation person where we got to, me and the woman, the person was inside. The person, the mediation person went to take the ground, sound alarm. The mediation person send me out, I must go outside.
No. That happens all the time in mediation. Sometimes the mediator send out, hang on.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mediator send out one side and talk to the next side in private.
Right.
Then them send out the next side and talk to the other side and then call back the two side in. So nothing unusual about that part there.
Yes, when I go inside back now, we come to an little unit. It's not really bad. But I don't want the action thing. So I just put my mind on myself. I do everything. That little part.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is the lawyer money? What me say?
Yes, well, regrettably, lawyer has to be paid for the work because if not, the lawyer might end up calling me, say, they don't have no money. That is the hard part of life. A lot of people think the lawyer must work, but lawyer mustn't get paid. Lawyer have bills too.
A workman supposed to get paid.
Yes.
So your work is supposed. That's why even the men in my work, they feel upset because them people have last year until now, them can't finish getting.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you about the lawyer fee at all, Orgil. I don't know what to say because that has to be paid. And it seems to me, so what you're going to get monthly, you say can't cover the lawyer pay. But that's the problem.
Can't cover most of the pay the men.
Mm-hmm.
So me not problem with that. And me see me personal things to ask some of the who, whether I'm more bill, more me a bigger bill, more and if me pay down certain things over the year. This is what me can do to us.
I do.
So that I mean a problem.
Well, everywhere is a bit of problem now. But I have to go to the break. If I have any thoughts, then I will share it. But
so I will meet the church next year.
No, if I have any thoughts, you'll hear me say it now. But I don't have any beyond what I have told you just now. Yeah,
so
I have to go.
Me just let me in limbo right now.
Yes, that's what all of us in limbo. Even right now, my brain in limbo, thinking about what you've said. But I have to go to the break. It's rough all around. Such is the nature of life at the moment. When we come back from the break, I'm going to Let's Talk Land. I love this part. Subdivision, part of land transfer. Registrar of Titles, National Land Agency coming to me. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. I love this feature, even though we don't get into the details yet. It's called Let's Talk Land with the National Land Agency, the NLA. So let's talk land with the NLA. Really happy to be joined by Miss Stephanie McLean, Registrar of Titles with the National Land Agency. Good to have you, Miss McLean.
Good morning, Mrs. Shields. Thank you so much for having me, and good morning to your listeners.
Yes, we've spoken quite a few times on the phone, never met you in person, but you are the repository of so much knowledge. So take me where you want to go this morning.
Okay, so this morning, what we wanted to speak to the listeners about is a very important topic, which is subdivisions. Mm-hmm. And I first wanted to explain to the listeners, for those who don't really have an understanding of what a subdivision is. And quite plainly, a subdivision occurs when a piece of land is divided or cut up into smaller pieces, what we call lots. And, subdivisions can be large or small. So here at Titles Office, we see subdivisions for hundreds or thousands of lots. Mm-hmm. And we can see small subdivisions as well for 2 or 3 lots. And of course, Mrs. Shields, the common reason for a subdivision, and the one that we're most familiar with, is for the purposes of development and sale. Mm-hmm. So we have developers who own large pieces of land. They'll divide that land up into lots and develop those lots, put in the necessary infrastructure, sewage, water, construct houses, and sell each lot on the open market.
Yes.
Yes, and there's a process to subdivide land, or to formally subdivide land, I should say.
Yeah.
And that you have to apply to the relevant municipal corporation, or as we Jamaicans still call it, our parish councils, and get the relevant approval in order to subdivide the land.
Yes. And you need a commissioned land surveyor to put in those papers, don't you?
Absolutely. So when you're ready to apply for title, after you've gotten your parish council approval, you have to commission a land surveyor to go out there and to prepare a plan that shows exactly what is on ground. So the commissioned land surveyor will draw a plan for you and comply with all of the technical aspects that he needs to comply with in his profession. And he will put everything on that plan is what is on ground. So all of the lots, all of the roadways, the open spaces, the walkways, everything that's on ground must be represented on the plan. And the plan is passed or approved by our surveys and mapping division here at NLA.
You have a diagram, a plan of every plot of land in Jamaica?
Yes, every registered plot, yes.
Right. So the ones that are unregistered, for them to come under the registration of title system, you would need the survey and diagram that you mentioned a moment ago.
Yes, exactly. Right. And to continue with what would be required in order to get titles for a subdivision, in addition to the subdivision plan and the parish council approval, you would have to, of course, apply for it by submitting the relevant application form and submit your title. And something that I must point out, in order to complete this process, you must be the owner on title. So it can't be your father's land or your grandfather's land. You have to go through the process of getting yourself registered on title first. So be it probate issues, etc., those things would have to be sorted out before you're able to submit an application to us to deal with the property.
So this is to get the splinter title. This is to get the cut off the area from the big property, yeah?
Yes, you are correct.
So if you
and the parish council.
Yeah, go ahead. The parish council.
Yes, the parish council will most likely, and almost in all circumstances, will direct the office of titles that we're not to issue title until the developer has reached a certain stage in development as it relates to infrastructure, etc. So we cannot issue title until or unless you submit that official release from the parish council. So that is another document that is required when you're doing your application process.
Wow. So you have any legal exemptions from requirement for subdivision approval?
We do. So under certain legislation, there are some entities that are exempt from subdivision approval. So if those entities were to apply for titles in a subdivision, they need not submit subdivision approval from their parish council. And also, under the Special Provisions Act, in Jamaica, Mrs. Shields, we have cases of informal subdivisions. So in that case, the landowner has the option to go under the Special Provisions Act. And so informal subdivisions where, they have subdivided the land on ground, but they haven't gone through the formal process of going to the parish council. There is provision under the Special Provisions Act to seek a waiver of subdivision approval. And in order to apply for that waiver, you would have to, the subdivision, the informal subdivision would have to have existed for 7 years or more. Yes, and the application is made. Yeah, go ahead.
So they'd have to prove, how do they prove that the subdivision existed 7 years or more? You look to Google Maps and those things for confirmation?
We can, and we also rely on the declarations that are submitted and the evidence that is submitted in the application. And those applications are submitted to the NLA through the Land Administration and Management Division.
Yes.
And the waivers are granted by our minister.
Right. And are there requirements for publication of that application in the newspapers?
No, we don't publish those. That is not required under the law. Of course, that application, the waiver that they get from that application, is usually submitted with an application to register. So that the notice of that application is published in the newspaper.
Okay, so that if anybody wants to challenge, they can.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. One thing I want to point out, Mrs. Shields, if you apply for this waiver under the Special Provisions Act, this section or the provisions, they're geared towards regularizing long-standing informal subdivisions. So it's not for the sale of lots. So developers can come under this section in order to avoid parish council.
Yes. Yes. And would this usually be then for government, the owners, who normally are the owners of these land holdings that become subject to long-standing informal occupation and subdivision?
We have a lot of communities where over time families have cut up their lands, sold it in some cases, or just passed it on to different family members. And they never did seek the necessary approval. So that is what it's geared toward.
So it's private ownership with some sort of informal subdivision.
Exactly.
Right. Would it ever take place on Crown land?
If it does, then the Commission of Lands will deal with that under her legislation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And is there any other scenario where subdivision approval will not be required, apart from the waiver that you just told me about?
There is one specific case, and that is where subdivision or the cutting of land to cure boundary encroachments. And a boundary encroachment is when a physical structure such as a fence or a wall or a part of a building on one parcel of land has been constructed in such a way that it has crossed over the boundary into another parcel of land. And if you are going to rectify a boundary encroachment, you're not required to submit subdivision approval to the titles office. Because those are usually, and I say usually, minor slivers of land that need to be cut off in order to rectify boundary encroachments.
So who does the cutting off? This is something that the registrar can do if the encroachment has been for long-standing?
Okay, so if the encroachment has been long-standing, then the landowner can apply to the court under the Prescription Act to get an order of the court declaring that parcel now belongs to him because of the operation of time under the Act. And then that order would be submitted to us, and we would act on that order and basically convert ownership to that person. But if it is an amicable relationship or decision between the two adjoining owners, the one who has encroached can purchase the piece, that the encroachment, from his neighbor, and that would come into us as a transfer of a part of that land.
Yes, and then transfer tax has to be paid.
Yes, but it's usually nominal because it's a very, most of the time it's a very nominal cost. And, transfer tax
2%
has a threshold, yes.
Okay. So, so if that's in the case of an amicable settlement. In the instance, I know there's God knows why I'm not remembering the case. There's a very famous case from this jurisdiction too, where for a long period of time, a slither of land, one of the owners operated as if that portion belonged to him, but the slither of land was listed on the title for the other person.
Yes.
And so the one who had possession and use of it, though it never belonged to him legally, the matter literally went to the court, perhaps all the way to the Privy Council. And because he'd occupied it for more than 12 years, he claimed the right by adverse possession.
Absolutely. So under the
Under what?
The Limitation of Actions Act. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So in that circumstance now, how would... could an individual in the person of that adverse possessor make an application to the titles office for that portion to be included on their existing title, or they have to get a separate title?
He certainly can. So he would make an application. It would be determined by our referee of titles.
Yeah.
And if the referee of titles finds that, yes, he has defeated the other person's right to the land by passage of time under the Limitation of Actions Act,
yes,
the referee will approve that a title should be issued in his name for that portion.
Right. And then no, let's say an elderly woman has grandchildren, wants to share up land. She's had years. How does she go about getting a title for each of the grandchildren to give them their section?
Okay, so if she has already obtained subdivision approval, then half the battle is won, because it would then entail the application to the registrar of titles with the subdivision approval and the plan, as we spoke about earlier. Now, if she has not obtained subdivision approval, and we spoke about informal subdivision, so if it is an informal subdivision, then all is not lost, because she can make an application to the NLA through our Land Administration and Management Division to seek a waiver of the subdivision approval from the minister. And then once that waiver is granted to her, it can form the basis of her application for separate titles, which can then be transferred to each of her grandchildren.
Okay. Brilliant. I shall quite enjoy this engagement. We will be going over a lot of these things. Anything you want to tell me before we have to go, Miss McLean, for now?
I would just...
Hold on a second. I think it's 30 minutes. Let me go to the break, rather. Sorry, I'm not wrapping you up yet, because we have a lot of questions. Thank you. Hold on. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. Invaluable segment on the program now. It's Let's Talk Land with NLA, that's the National Land Agency. So all matters concerning land, and the very, very complex one we start off with this morning is the matter of subdivision and attendant matters. I'm happy to have the Registrar of Titles, Miss Stephanie McLean, here with us. So go back to that old lady who can also be an old man in Jamaica. A lot of situations like that where you have a big yard and the person has had the land many times too unregistered, but they have given little parcels to, a child, a grandchild, and everybody sort of living knowing their various boundaries, but nothing really is under the titles system of registration. Remind them what to do in those circumstances, Miss McLean. Miss McLean, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Thank you.
Okay. As you said, Mrs. Shields, it is a very common scenario in Jamaica. And the Special Provisions Act is a very useful act in cases such as these. Because if the land is unregistered, then of course the grandmother or the grandfather would have to apply to register the land.
Yes.
But when you register unregistered lands, you still have to deal with the fact that you hadn't yet gone to parish council to ask to cut up the land. So you can go under the Special Provisions Act and apply for that waiver. And as I said, if the informal subdivision has been in existence for 7 years under that act, then that is one of the criteria that the minister looks at. And of course, when we submit the application to the minister, we set out the particular issues of each case. In this case, we set out that it's a family settlement and that the owner desires to regularize everything so that each child or family will have a title to their particular land. And the minister, after determining the facts, will grant the waiver, and he can grant the waiver with conditions. So it's not just done blindly without considering issues such as infrastructure, etc. He can grant it with conditions that must be complied with, and then that waiver can be submitted along with the application to register the lands, so that the title will be issued.
Okay. So what if the boundaries as informally established are somehow not appropriate for various reasons? Would there be any requirement to sort of straighten them up, to make them align, even for the purposes of putting in, for example, water infrastructure? Do any of those considerations come in at all in this process?
Yes. So if what is on ground is not suitable for the minister to approve the waiver, then the minister will not be able to. And he does have technical advice in this regard. And if that is the case, then we can certainly guide the landowner through the process of being able to comply with any requirements. But because some of these boundaries have been long-standing, and because the Act also allows, the Special Provisions Act also allows for those that have been long-standing for 7 years to be accepted, then it's only in certain very specific cases that there might be some objection.
Right. And then the whole, what is first, the application for the waiver or the application for first registration of the unregistered land to bring it under the Registration of Titles Act? Which application comes first?
Well, the application goes to two different places. So the application for the waiver will go to the Land Administration Management Division, and the application for the title goes to us, the titles office. So the application for the waiver would go first because you would need it in order to submit with your application to register to the titles office.
Right, and the application for title would be based on, if it is that the land was purchased, then you would attach a sale agreement, receipts, and all those things if you have it. Tell me how that goes.
Right. So in order to register lands, you have to basically, it's like you're telling a story. And so you have to set out the history of the land for the past 30 years, it can be, or for the past 12 years, depending on whether or not you're claiming adverse possession or not. But in any event, you have to set out the history of the land, and you have to account for when the land has passed from hand to hand.
Yes.
If you mention that the land has been sold, then of course the referee is going to ask, so where's the deed of conveyance? Documents are important because, as you know, the conveyance of land cannot be done orally or should not be done orally under the law.
Statutes of frauds.
Exactly. And that, of course, is an issue for Jamaicans, because our culture is not to write things down. It's mostly an understanding that this is my son's land, and everybody in the community knows that it's my son's land. So, of course, that is some of the things that we struggle with. But that is why the years of possession becomes important. And all of those facts are presented to our referee of titles or the adjudication committee under the Special Provisions Act. And then the decision is made as to whether or not the person has proven that they have defeated everybody else's right to the land, and therefore a title should be issued in their name.
Right. And then the application for waiver, what do they need to submit to Land Admin Management Division?
I believe it is a statutory declaration.
Okay.
I'm kind of getting into another division.
That's fine. We can get into that another time. But as you say, it's two separate applications for this old lady or this old man, and they just need to know that these two applications have to work in tandem. In most times, you have to do the application for waiver first at one place, and then you can make the application for title. But is there any way both of the applications can sort of be synchronized?
Sure. So while the application takes some time for the waiver. So of course, especially if you go through our Land Administration and Management Division to submit your application, then they're going to guide. And they will start the ball rolling at the appropriate time, so that when you are ready to lodge at Titles Office, you would have already had the waiver in hand.
Yeah. Is there any other area of subdivision you want to tell the listeners about, and which I may not have asked you about, and to bring further clarity to the listeners?
I would just like to say to the listeners, and it's something that I always say, it is important for listeners to understand the importance of seeking legal advice, because you can get yourself in problems if you decide to ask for help from non-legal sources. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to get legal advice when you are ready to deal with your land in any way. And I'm not just talking about subdivisions.
Yes.
So, and it's important to get technical advice, to get a trusted commissioned land surveyor to assist you in the process of getting your plan mapped out as to what is on ground, and get legal advice as it relates to the process of going through to apply for title.
Yes. A lot of people sometimes think, they can do it themselves because whatever fees are there, they don't want to pay, and it ends up in, a lot of problems from time to time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me see if anybody online has a question on this subdivision matter for you, Miss McLean. 876-926-2178. Remember, we're talking about subdivision now. 876-926-8631, 926-7615. And you have any idea? Can you provide some guidance as to the length of the process at the parish council? I know it's not really yours, but the complaints have been that it is invariably long, because I think even NEPA has to come in, sometimes Ministry of Health and all sorts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I don't have a time frame, but I do know that the process entails the parish council getting comments from several other authorities and relevant authorities. So yes, the process is long and involved. Let me not say long. It's involved, and but I do not have a specific time frame. No.
Mm-hmm. All right. Somebody's asking, how do we know whether a piece of land is registered or unregistered?
Okay, so we have several tools at the National Land Agency to assist. You can begin with Inland Jamaica, where you can go on and search for property. There's a visual map. You can go on, look for look for close landmarks such as a road or another property that you know of, and then use the map to locate your property. If you click on the property, it will tell you whether or not there's a volume and folio. If it gives you a volume and folio, you can purchase the title right there on Inland Jamaica, or you can walk into any of the National Land Agency's customer service areas, and we can assist you with the search.
Right. Somebody is asking now, 8 people lease a piece of land and they need to purchase. Can each person survey his lot and then value it to get titles? This is exactly what the subdivision thing comes in about now.
Right.
Yeah? If it's separate, if it's the same owner for the one piece of land, yeah?
Exactly. So, well, a lot of things comes up with that question. So 8 persons, they've leased separate pieces of land. The question is whether or not they can get title, because if they're leasing from someone, then it's really that person who would have the right to apply for title, and then formalize the lease on title to them.
Yes.
So I don't know if lease is really the word that maybe lease is not the word the person is searching for, perhaps, but a lease brings up other considerations, because of course as a lessee you would be the owner.
Right. So many times leases are not noted on title, though there's a requirement by law for a lease over a certain number of years to be noted on the title, right?
Well, it says that any lease over 1 year may be.
Okay.
Right. So it's really up to the person. If you want to have notice to the world, it would be wise to register it on title.
Right. So this person now, 8 of your lease, if you want to purchase, then it is the owner of the land. One, you'd have to enter into a sale agreement. You speak with the person who owns the land, and then the person who owns the land would take the appropriate steps to cut off whichever portion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the point of making the application, the owner can direct that the title can be issued directly in the name of that person, the purchaser.
Yeah. All right. I have one more question. I have got requisite approval from KSAC to subdivide my property. I have 3 lots that I want to sell. The entrance is on another road. Do I have to cut a road to individual lots before coming in for titles?
Well, the KSAC would have approved the subdivision with the relevant access. There is a plan that we commonly call the blueprint that would have been approved and stamped by the KSAC. So the access, and of course, they would not have approved it if it was if there was access. So the access should already be on the plan and approved. If it is that you want additional access, then again you would have to go back to KSAC in order to get that approved.
And then sometimes wouldn't easement sort of operate in situations like those? Perhaps another Perhaps another week we can touch on that. A lot of matters coming up. Thank you, Ms. McLean. Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Shields.
Take care. Let's talk land with the National Land Agency Registrar of Titles there. Come back with us. Headlines time. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. I'm going to come and take a couple calls before we go to our feature at 11:15 with the Pest Control Authority, talking matters concerning that entity. 876-926-2178. Hello, morning. Hi, morning.
Morning, Mr. Shields.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you keeping?
Very well, thank you. Who's this?
They call me Vincent.
Welcome, Vincent.
Mr. Shields, I have a question, and not from any bias, strictly out of ignorance. Now, the situation concerning the SSL and the results, the confusion, let me say, arising from it. I am asking whether, you see, the people we vote for and should be asking these questions. They come out and they defend the party and their prime minister and all that sort of thing. But does the government have any responsibility in that regard to the people?
What do you think?
I am asking because I have known of previous situations where the Minister of Finance is alleged to have said that some institutions were too big to go down. And I'm wondering whether he did it by choice or he was whether whoever he attended to in that regard, whoever he assured that they didn't fail, did he do it out of preference or just choosing, or the government have any obligations at all to these institutions? Because I don't think it can go like that.
That's an interesting question, but it's an interesting question you ask. I think we would all benefit from that FinSAC report so we can understand a lot of matters that we're still not clear about, which is how the quotation you made a moment ago, how it came in at the time. But now, the situation with SSL is quite different because this is not a bank. But especially because it's not a bank, and especially coming out of the financial sector meltdown where FinSAC had to be brought in, especially coming after Carlos Hill and his criminal-minded cronies who had their unregulated schemes operating in this country for such a long time, and so many people end up whatever. What we had was a system where a law was actually passed to regulate how licensed securities dealers are to operate. And to the extent that we can now be hearing that there were so many adverse reports on SSL, we have to ask, One, did the minister know? We understand from Minister Clark that never once in his more than 5 years now as minister was he ever told by anybody at FSC of their fears at SSL. He checked with Shaw. Shaw said he was never told. We suspect that maybe Dr. Peter Phillips, who was finance minister, he would also say the same thing.
Yeah.
So if the policymakers were never told about, the problems plaguing an entity like SSL, and that they needed to give more teeth to the FSC, then I don't know to what extent we can blame any government of the day. If they were told and they didn't do anything, then that's a different issue. Yeah?
But thank you, ma'am. But I'm speaking from the point of view that the Minister of Finance says, if the government undertakes certain actions, I interpret it to mean that if he went in and refund, for use of a better word, one party, they would be obliged to do it for everybody.
But that is... I have to come back to that. I'm going to make a note and put my thoughts down about this funding, because I raised it last time and I heard the question being asked, but it couldn't come in just like that, Vincent. But let's talk again, because I have to go to the break.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, take care. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. Time now for a feature with the Pesticide Control Authority. Happy to be joined by Senior Inspector at the authority, Mr. Hugh Ho Young. Welcome, sir. How are you?
It's good day. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. The Pesticide Control Authority. If you
and the
faster than ever.
Yeah. On engineering service.
Thank you. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. We're coming to some of your calls, and then we have at 11:45 Money Talk with BPM Financial. So Peter Rose Hall will join us as always. So time for yours. 2178. Good morning. Hello. Comrade. Hello? Dopey, come off of the line. Hello? 7615. Hello?
Mrs. Shield.
Mr. Coombs.
Good morning. I'm glad me get you. Paul in one in the world, Nigeria.
Yes.
That did line the one, so thank God me get you.
Yes.
All right, listen me now. I'm going too fast. The lady from the land agency, she do a good job. The subdivision there.
Yes.
The word she never use, when you do a subdivision, see, you hear me?
Yes.
You get your sketch plan. With the title. You would have voted on different things.
Yes.
You have a sketch plan down there, the parish council.
Yes.
The cases, you look on it and them say, you can't go ahead, understand?
Yes, that's what that's what the commission land surveyor.
Yeah, but you do with mother title. You carry the mother title and the mother...
It have to be the mother title, because remember, say the mother title we are look for split up.
Yes, we split up, yeah. That's it. Anyway, you're quick going on. The reason why the man is so me, to your boss, Mr. Gifford, because my land is in court, you buy it now. When I buy the land, 5 feet of the land upon his part. So, remember Michael, this anyway, the line life for 7 years. So my life, I can buy it, I can move it. If me want it, me don't want, but be a quiet life when he come there. Me tell him, you know, and the man coach me every day, tell people how me keep in land, me say, right. If you think you have 3 and me only have 2, I mean, no. You know me talk about meal part. Put me a quote and he did tell me go a quote and he tell, you can look at the time, me give volume number 1 year, the volume, the file number 1 year, the suit number. Yeah, man, coming back to this now, when 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 the road agency don't want my place and because the road, a man me a calling him the phone name, in surname have a mango and come here, Mr. Combs. I am from any national audience, I want so much Peter Allen. Mr. Chu, Mr. Where's the paper, where's the letter, you're the liar. Mr. Come at the window, let me talk to you, you won't be what idea of me live. Mr. Where the paper, where the letter? In carry letter come this Saturday, come Friday. Mr. You're the liar, where's the book to sign for it? So look smarter than you go, well, after all the diary of NLA, send a book and a letter, and Mr. No, we are in business. So me photocopy and send to my lawyer now. Thank God for that. Mr. Sheila, I know about me about it. Take a good take one out of the foolish young man, I know. Anyway, me say you have scratch thing, you know. You have scratch paper, me say it, no.
Look here, me forget to mention it. Me say, me have to bring in interpreter for it.
No, well, I got to do. The direction, no, I did say, yeah. But more, they drop them, let me drop in there, is the man, them, you know.
You see the picture? Me say.
Yeah, the man, but, the direction, I did say, DT, me agree with you. The direction.
DT don't understand it.
Yeah, but you draw, as well, gentleman, you're going one foot.
See that.
And you pick up the man, and you go and turn on the double box. You go in one foot, and you come back out to pick up the man, no. When you go in, you can't pick up the man, no.
No, hold on. So you start jump from the first box where the three of them line out.
Yeah.
And your diagram now say 1 foot.
Yeah.
You jump in for 1 foot. Then you pick up the man.
Yeah, but when you coming out back.
Nah.
When you coming out to pick up the man, you are the gentleman direct you.
Yes, but in a your drawing now, in every box you have 1 foot and pick up.
There 1 foot you go and pick up and 1 foot and pick up. After you pick up and come out, you go in, but no, when you go in, when you pick your job first, man, you jump on the app and go in. Yeah, man, but you can't go more doing. I agree. I'm not going to show off and say.
Tell you what, I have a picture here. I'm going to tweet it and make people interpret it for me.
Yeah, but no, hold on. The drawing is right, you know. The drawing is right. It's 3 single man. 3 single man, the box, one single man and the double burn. You jump and spin around. You have to come back out and you have to jump around, you know.
Yes. So where's the... Me not see the man a spin around in a few something.
No, but me couldn't drive it. Me not could man drive. Me tell you. I agree. You don't know wrong, but you driving it right.
No, anyway. Thank you for taking the time, Mr. Coombs. I love it.
No problem, thank you.
All right, take care. Listeners, Mr. Coombs said we want Mr. Drawing last week. Let me see. I'm going to send it out and see if any of you can understand it. Yeah, transcribe it for me. Love my people. Oh dear. This is the hotline 926-7615. Sorry, 8631. Morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Shields.
How are you?
Bad.
Who says that?
Well, I remember sometime I called you, Passage Fort and the blockage of a drain. And you acted on it and it was rectified. Now it happens again. I've been to that place to report about 3 to 4 times. And this is happening from last week, Thursday. And nobody come to look at it to rectify it. But what is happening now, it is now backing up into my home.
Oh, yes, I think I remember you called me about that same.
Yes.
I don't remember it, though. What's your name again?
Carlton. I remember I nominated you as the People's Warden.
What is this? Yeah, you need somebody for second and third that, and nobody now second that. Carlton, go ahead.
That is true.
Yes.
Yes, it is very bad because what we have to be doing now is to maybe put washing aside and basically dry cleaning. Because it is coming up. One of the toilets there now, we can't use it at all because it's exposing itself around there.
Crazy. Remind me, which entity is responsible again?
It is in Passage Fort by Palmetto West and the Westway.
So which entity is responsible for this?
That's the Water Commission.
Westway. NWC, so I know they came. Need to check back. So this is what you said the problem. How do I word the problem now? What you say is backing up?
Okay, whenever it is blocked in the main.
What is blocked?
The sewage system.
Sewage system blocked, yes.
Yeah. It forces itself back into home.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But it's not running freely.
Mm-hmm. All right. We have a note, and we're also checking on Lance's Bay water problem for Mr. Martin, and we're told by NWC the president is in a board management retreat at the moment. He has somebody working on it, so we will send this issue to NWC again, Carlton, and you let us know whether it is rectified. All right?
I will do.
All right, thanks.
And thanks.
Okay, bye-bye. Toll free, morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm not bad, thank you. Is this Kimberly?
No, this is Emily.
Oh, Miss Emily.
Yes, you're on the radio now.
Okay. Can I speak with you off the air when your program is finished?
No, ma'am. Hold on a second. Hold on. Talk to my producer. She'll set up a time. Yeah. All right. 2178. Hello?
Hi. How you doing, Miss Shield?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm okay. This is Miss T.
Yes, Miss T. Good to have you.
Oh, my God. Everything is trending these days. Oh, my God. I don't even know which topic to choose today. It's not my first time calling.
I know.
But I always try to change upon you.
Yes.
Green
lizard.
Which of the topics would you like for me to discuss today?
No, you go where you're led.
Oh, my God. I'm thinking finance. But I'm talking about gold. So, spending too much. But what I want to worry about really is Jamaica. I don't think this is looking good on the global scale. It is so embarrassing. I used to live in Trelawney for about 4 years, and for me, Bolt is an icon. I was there the year when Harry came. Yes, and what I specifically remember...
When what?
Harry.
Prince Harry?
Yes, not Harry Potter.
The spare?
Sure. When he came.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember that time when he came to Falmouth?
I didn't know he came to Falmouth. I met him in Kingston.
Yeah, man. He did a tour with Bolt around Falmouth.
I remember a race.
Right. And they brought him around in that trump card. Yeah, it was quite unique because they have a trump card in Falmouth that the tourists used to go down. You know, so it just brings back that memory and all of that, and it doesn't look good. And there was once an allegation going around at that time that Bolt was going to run the streets of North Trelawney. However, he said no. What bothers me, because I'm very political, not really tribal, but political, and what bothers me, Usain Bolt was supposed to run on the North Trelawney Lake. Everybody knows he's from Sherwood Content, and he attended the William Nib. And when I look at that hill that he climbed back home, because coming down it was easy because it's a hill. Going from school, and it really brings back a lot of memory, even though I didn't grow up there, you know. But just from the little history that I learned, that the way forward, and he tried to be a businessman. And he's so amusing. I've never met him personally. I tried, but I couldn't get to enter that day in question. And honestly, I'm worried. No, I'm worried. I'm really worried because when I see the development in Jamaica, because honestly, you cannot stay home and see the development. You have to go and work in other areas and all of that. And Trelawney has come a long way. They have very good soft shoulders, because these days if the road doesn't have soft shoulders, you will get into an accident. So they have good road on the highway, and they really develop in terms of the pier, especially the pier, and the people do not gravitate to tourism there. They don't harass tourists. So, you know, it's a good look, especially with the bend down. You can't get so hungry to live at Trelawney unless you're a lady, put it out. And, you know, when I really see how they deal with him, because he is, and I don't really want to say the side of the state, but he's from a strong JLC community, that's for sure.
None of that matters.
No, I'm just saying.
None of it matters, Miss T.
I'm just saying.
But why? What's the purpose of just saying?
Because it was alleged that he was even asked for.
No. We don't do allegations here, ma'am. It doesn't matter. Not in the scheme of what is going on.
Hampered because even this administration.
No, hold on a second.
So the ambassador.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Go onto social media and write whatever you want to write. You don't come here with allegations to color this situation. I'm not interested in it. This is not the large, unbridled veranda that social media is. This is proper radio with responsible people running it. No, take my cue and back off it.
Well, I have to take it off.
Yes, I'm not interested in it. Have a good day. I've got to go to the feature. Thank you so much. This is the hotline. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. Let me come to a call before we get to X and Y. Good afternoon, 876-926-2178. Hello.
Mrs. Hill?
Hi.
This is Donovan.
Welcome, Donovan.
It's a long time. You know, my mother, the pass off. This is Donovan, he helped me with my mother, man, the time I sent her to assist me.
Oh. Yeah. How long ago was that again, Donovan?
Last year.
Oh.
Yes, last year. I sent the package for her.
Okay. I've sent so many packages, I don't know why I'm not remembering, but it's good to hear you.
Yes, Mrs. Hill, I have a problem here, you know. I want to assist me with, you know.
Yes.
You know, I get a fall and go to KPH and the fourth in 2001 and spend 4 days down there and come out the 8th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I come out,
you get the fall when?
In the 3rd
of
the
when?
4th of the 3rd, 2021.
Okay, 2021.
You know, yeah. So I went to KPH and I spent I leave down there the 8th and go. They said I must come. They give me the car to come back the 14th of May. It was my date.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'll get a fall off a pallet. I was putting in some things, and you know, people say, "Go check out what happened." You know, go down there and then say, "Well, I have admit." And then by they get a bed, I know. That's the I go on the ground down there. It was in time of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Shields, I leave, and when I went home, there's complication where I see what's happening. So I call a friend of mine, and I would tell her what I was seeing happening.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, check a doctor. So I went to a private doctor. And when she went there, she said what she have seen, although she's a doctor, she can't deal with it. She going to refer me to a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But doctor don't work permanent in Jamaica. She just come and go like to the offices and when she have patients.
Mm-hmm.
No, Mrs. Shields, she said, no, Donovan, I don't work like this. You have to get your medical report. She write a letter and give me, and I took it down by KPH. Based upon what I see what was happening to me. And I took the letter to a lady up by KPH in the office where them took for the medical report. She read it and the doctor told me, look, Donovan, don't leave. Let she sign one and you take back one. When I honor the letter, she read it. She said, why you want medical report? I said, I don't come here for that. She said, all right. She put down the letter. And when she put the letter down, she said, 2 weeks time I must come back. I don't know the way how they do their things out there. So when I went back the 2 weeks, she said the 2 weeks the report would be ready. When I went to her, she said she can't find the letter. I went back to the private doctor place because I pay money and all these things to them, waiting on the doctor to start what they should happen to me. So when I went back down and get another letter, I give it to her. But the first letter, she didn't tell me that I must pay $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I give it to her and they said, 2 weeks time, I should come back. No, Mrs. Shields, from last year, all of 2022, I'm waiting for the medical report. Every time the doctor, she don't do business, she only do business in Jamaica and come. Mrs. Shields, up to today, I can't get it. I don't know why I can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I went over by patient and service. I tell the lady what was going on over that office. She gave me a number to call her. So So I'm going to give you. I have a big problem with the sheep because the doctor are getting very angry now.
You have what? I don't want any names. So what you need is help to get the medical report.
Yes. No, there's some ladies over one office there. You know, she said to me, "Well, let me know if I come there. I mustn't come there. I must look on the receipt. I pay the $4,000. You know, no, I pay the $4,000." She said, "I must call the number and the receipt. The number what on the receipt is CCRT, right? And the number is 5168-473. So I'm having a problem with the two ladies. I went over about a week ago over by Patients and Service. I spoke to a lady over there and tell her, I said, look, this lady, two lady over there, give me, and the doctor is telling me, boy, she can't bother to come and she have to keep making an appointment with me each time and not reaching anywhere. She gave me that number now, the number now, which is this number. She gave me a number to call her, and I call her. I can't get her either. I just can't get her.
So you need a medical report. You need your medical report from KPH.
Man, I need it, Mrs. Shields. Because if you pause me, I will tell you. I can't tell you on here. I don't want to get.
No, I don't want to hear what the doctor found. My imagination has gone completely wild, and I do not want it confirmed. Hold on for me. Leave your name and details so that we can make some checks and see what is causing the hold up with the report.
Yeah, Mrs. She, because I go by Patients and Service.
No, don't because I get the point.
Yeah, but I need it, Mrs. Shees. I pay for it and I can't get it.
How much time you going to tell me the same thing?
Okay, Mrs. Shees, sorry about that.
Yes, please. Man, me hear you. And we're going to work on it now.
Okay.
God bless you. Hold on, Donovan. You ready for a break or you want to go straight? Go on straight. X and Y. You remember my man in the country? Go on straight.
No corner.
Go on straight.
Just go straight.
Woo!
And when you go around there, so you take a left. And then you go down a little grade, and then you go up a little hill.
Yes,
and then you make a right turn.
You see one bunchy mango tree.
And you take left. And then you go down a...
And you're not right, and I'm expecting to follow, you know? My people. Always why?
Tell me something. You drink coffee?
I never used to, but I've started drinking it now, and I quite like the taste. Yes, never used to for all of the years of my life. I was not a coffee drinker.
I had some, but it tastes like mud. Why would it taste like mud?
A coffee you drink? Mud?
Why would it taste like mud?
Why would coffee taste like mud? I wonder if Julian can tell me that.
Who is Julian?
my secret answerer. Why would coffee taste like mud?
I mean, I wonder why. And if anybody else ever had that experience.
Mud.
You know, some number that drink any.
All right, coffee I drink, man. A Blue Mountain coffee I drink?
I don't know if it's blue or black. Oh, then say you can have black coffee, so maybe a Black Mountain.
You put creamer in there or you drink it or just black?
Creamer or screamer?
Creamer.
All right. Well, maybe I'm more screamer in it.
I know why it tastes like mud.
Like mud?
Tell me.
Because I grown one.
God!
Coffee ground.
Oh, God!
It must taste like mud.
Yeah. Ground coffee. You still go buy, you know? You still go buy the rounds. Crazy.
Anyway,
a lot of people interpreting Mr. Combs' hopscotch, you know.
Yeah? But the rules, I don't know that the rules were any different from parish to parish. Basically, it's the same thing we used to play.
Yeah, Miss Justice says 1 foot hop. Hop, hop. 2 feet hop, jump, straddle. 1 foot hop, 2 feet hop, jump, straddle. Then spin and go in reverse.
Yeah. Well, no,
It's
not
their
exactly.
version. That's a Mr. Combs version too. Mr. Combs from
I wouldn't even say reverse. Just go back.
Oh, you mean go back front way? You not jump back way?
You not jump back way.
Okay, so it's not reverse. Just turn and face the direction and
yes, yeah.
Go forward in that direction.
But there are certain basic rules. So
that's an important thing, you know. So you're not really reversing.
No, it's not. You're not reversing. You're going back. But you're traveling front way.
That's it.
Back to where you come from.
You can't reverse forward. You can't reverse with yourself moving forward.
But you can't reverse back way. Just reverse back way and come.
Anytime you're reversing, we know. So you're going back with your back turn.
You never hear. Reverse back. Reverse back.
And rain a fall. Come sit down. Why do we say sit down? Like when you sit, it has to be down.
The rain come down.
Yeah.
The rain come down. It's not the rain fall down, the rain come.
Like the rain, like it ever goes up.
All right, so since this hopscotch has been topical from the other day, we really have to go play the hopscotch. But let's tell you how we used to play it again.
This is what parish?
It's St. Elizabeth. We're talking about Carrisbrook, St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
And like I said the other day, we used to have this open yard with no grass. And it's just nice and pretty. As long as there is no rain, it's good. And when we were out there under the moonlight playing hopscotch. So
under the moonlight?
Under the moonlight, yes. Moonlight. Bright and pretty.
Yes.
So you draw your boxes, which is the 3. Well, everybody knows how the hopscotch box is.
Now get another drawing as well from Olo Palmer on thingy there. Yes.
So let me talk about the rules then.
Yeah.
So you put down the object, or what they call the man, in the first box. You're going to start.
Yeah.
You jump in the second box because the object is in the first box.
And you can't jump in the box where the object
is. So you jump in the second box, the third box, and then the double box, and then a middle box, which is a single, and then a double at the top. And when you get to the double at the top, you're going to jump and turn around. The trick is to do that and don't allow any of your feet to get on the line or outside the line. Because if that happens, you're out. And then you're going to come all the way back down. And when you get to the second to last box, you're going to now bend down and pick up the object.
Yes.
And then you jump in the box that you take the object out of.
Okay.
And then get out. And then you're going to throw the object in the second box. You're going to start at the first box now, and then you skip over to the third box. And you do that continually until you get to the top. The challenge is when you get to the top, when you have to throw the object all the way up to the top box, you're likely to have it thrown out of the box. And then if you throw it out of the box, then you would also lose your turn.
No, this is a game. When we're going to play it, we need a serious prize for this. Because it's not going to be easy. We need a prize.
It isn't easy. It isn't easy. And if 3 persons are playing it and their objects are in the boxes, say for instance, you have objects in 1, 2, 3, you're going to have to jump all the way up to the double box.
But why would your object be in the box when you're out? Why you don't take out your object and go and the other person puts his object in?
No, you're still in the game. But you have not completed a round, so...
so is every round completed is a point?
Yeah. So if you're able to do everything and you're not... you didn't commit any breach. You didn't step on any line, you didn't step out of the box, and your object didn't drop out of the box and all of that. You still stay.
What is the size of the box, though? Why if your foot about size 14?
Size...
What is the size of the box?
Well, I don't remember the precise size of the boxes, but I think it may be about 2 feet square. 2 feet square, I think.
Okay, so that should hold.
Yeah.
Big foot.
But listen now, when you're jumping on one foot, like say for instance, you're jumping from the very beginning to go up to the top.
Yeah.
Like the fourth box where the double boxes, because if you have objects in all of those down at the bottom, you're going to have to jump all the way up to the top.
Right, because the other band's objects can be in there.
And then if you lose your balance, 1 foot, 1 foot.
Then if you lose your balance, what? No mud?
I go on coffee. Coffee ground. Hold on there. Mud?
Let's just start. Or dirt.
This one dedicated to all the jump up.
You know, this is the tune that came in my head though. Turn it up, and it's on the song. Second, Miss I can't pretend to come from my shit up. Anywhere you go, we have to y'all and pull up. Listen, Miss I can't because him well dangerous. Miss I mud up italic and italic and italic. Miss I mud up italic.
Mud up. Mud up coffee.
No. We ever play that tune there when we had the hopscotch, man. That tune is bad. Well, the other challenge is if we can do it in heels.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, you don't think so?
Not why.
No, me not do it either. Come here. No,
not why.
Train me ankle. Me not do it like
No.
No, we have to set a date. We need judges and we need prizes for this because this is turning out to be something quite fascinating.
And we're gonna go live.
We have to go live. All the whole heap of people are going dead.
So when some people foot broke, well, people foot can't set back, so no better plan to get in the wheelchair.
No, me too. Yeah, but I don't remember it being so intricate at all.
Yeah, it's challenging. It's challenging.
I like the rules. So when you get to the last set of 2 boxes, and you're jumping to turn, is a 2 foot jump or one or a hop?
Well, that is another thing because if there's an object in one of those boxes, you're gonna have to turn on 1 foot.
Yeah.
So the very top boxes, the double boxes at the top. If somebody has an object in one of those, you're jumping to the empty one.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to turn
in the empty one.
on the 1 foot. One leg.
And pick up the object.
Well, depending on where your object would be. And you turn around and come down. And you make sure so you hold your balance. So you have to full up balance and have strong legs. And
I wonder if Stephen Francis can come train me. Need a trainer.
A trainer you need.
The Hopscotch Challenge coming up on X and Y on a date to be announced. Listen out for it. Who will it be? X versus Y and probably Anna K. Levy. We never know. That's X and Y. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. 876-926-2178, 926-8631. Rick's so cool. Says he's ready for that hopscotch challenge. And Rick So Cool is super fit, So we'll see if we want to have you in this competition. Might have to expand this thing, and get some serious competitors. Get into a thing. 9262178. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yes, it's the same.
Yes. Who is this?
First time on the program, Wade.
When?
Wade. Yes.
Good to have you, Wade. Welcome.
Yes. I'm a good listener of the program, also, I always full it laughter.
Good to hear that.
Yes. All right. So I'm having a problem, with the Montego Bay.
The Montego Bay what?
Court office.
This is the furniture store or the...
No.
Okay.
Not the furniture one. Let me get straight to it. I work for a haberdashery company in Montego Bay, Fairview. where I represent the company as a sales representative. I have some customers who delinquent, which I have to take out summons for them.
Mm-hmm.
I get the power of attorney from my boss to act on their behalf to carry them to the court.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before it went to that section of the power of attorney, I went to the post office and I find out for them what should I get to represent the company.
Mm-hmm.
So they say I have to get that power of attorney and get the person GR or whatever. Anyhow, I went to the tax office, I get it registered, then I go to the RGB to get everything started out. Each time I go to the court office now, you always have this one particular person always telling you that you need more documentation. And I can't really understand. The last time they sent me all the way to Black River, and Black River sent me back there, and I have to even call somebody one know well.
But the power of attorney is signed by a duly authorized representative of the company?
Yes, I got a letter from the boss.
No, not a letter.
No, the letter that I got from the boss.
No. I'm saying the power of attorney that you have,
yes,
which makes you the attorney,
yes,
is it signed by a duly authorized? Well, that's interesting. Who signed it?
My boss signed it on a JP stamp it, and I carry it to the RGB to get it registered.
And your boss has the authority of the company?
Yes, it's his company.
And the power specifically states that you are authorized to bring claim,
yes,
to take out summonses on behalf of the company?
Yes, plus all the delinquent customers are stated on it.
Mm-hmm. And what's the problem then?
The problem I have been, you have this one particular person there at the post office always giving me the runaround. And the last time now when I went there, they sent me to Black River because there was the customer who I took to take out the summons was from Black River. But he do most of his transactions in Montego Bay at the office.
Mm-hmm.
So she saying to me where the person of this business, that is where I should go and take out the summons.
But where you did business with the person?
Both here, both from Montego Bay to is where the shop is in Black River.
Yes. Yes, I think if you do it in that jurisdiction, then you can take out the summons there, because that is where
most of
goods,
it,
yes.
Most of it is right at our head office, where he came in and paid the funds are come for the goods.
Yes. So what do you want me to do now?
I just wanted to get some clarification, because the thing about it...
what you have to do, get from that person at the court office who you say is humbugging you. Get from them what the problem is and what you can do to rectify it. Why is it that your boss doesn't go act in the company's name and get out the summons?
All right. To be honest with you, these are Chinese, right? So I don't know the problem with that Chinese have. But because of me, I am the one who normally deal with the customers.
Yeah, but you're dealing with the customer as an agent for the principal.
Right.
So the principal is the person who should properly bring the action, because if you give receipts to the customer, the receipts are issued on a receipt book for the company or for you?
I have a receipt book for the company.
Yes, so you represent that you're acting for the company.
Right.
Which is why you could get a power. What you probably should do, justice is for everybody, you know. Chinese, Indian, German, whatever. So I think what you should do, Wade, is just properly find out from the person at the court office what is the problem, how can the problem be rectified. If anything, make them write it down.
Okay.
And if you can't get around it, then you ask the Chinese owner who should have a greater interest in resolving the issue than you, unless you are to be rewarded a percentage of what you have collected, in which interest. Yes. So in which event you have interest wind up there.
Yes.
So I can see why you'd seek to push it in. So find out from them really what the problem is and let them guide you properly.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a major issue from what you have said.
Yes.
But listen carefully. Listen not to try and respond, but listen to understand what they say the rectification needs to be. And let me know, because I would be interested as well.
No problem, and thank you so much.
All right, take care. Hello.
Church sister.
Church sister. Hey.
I arrive.
Hi.
Church sister. Walk on.
You tell me.
Hi,
Miss Lucy.
The church sister. Hold.
Are you coming up to play hopscotch with us?
Hold the RGR. And hold it to my wonderful parish and the best parish Hanover.
Nobody answer the question let me ask you.
Hear that.
I was asking you if you're coming up to play hopscotch, but me change my mind.
Hop what? Me get 270,
that is what me remember, you know.
Hey, me going down fine girl. Me going down.
If you jump up here, it will be an earthquake.
Let me tell you my story now.
Go tell me.
What Mr. Bruce Golding say? Mr. Warmington needs to shut him out. Because guess what? Every ton you turn in a Lucy, they sell out the whole of Lucy. Up to the Lucy bus park of Niamin place in there. So the taxi and the bus and the car park out the road. There must be a stop to these people before they come in at the parish. You hear me say to you?
So what have to do with Mr. Golding?
A 3-story building in Lucy now they build up.
I see him up
and
at town,
the bus and the car man then have Mercy Park third sister. So number one, Mr. Bruce Golding is correct. You need to shut him out, Mr. Warrington, and go flood. But him can't talk with him, man. What is wrong with him? Because of cantanker us.
Look, pan, you are talking about somebody cantanker.
If you are Bruce Golding, you can come in without papers. You don't have the right. All right. Because American have no right to come here.
Kuya.
Just like so when they went to this, they put Matthews in one stadium with police and have put him out. As I am there, you know, all right to go on the yard. Some Mr. Bruce will never have no sense in that party. But this is right. Dear sister, I am not joking. We have no one to mark a Lucian. The busman, the carman, the taxi man have nowhere to park.
I know got two labor MP down there.
Sister,
we don't go talk to the MP.
The place sell out before them are to come in. And if they don't make stop in it, Mr. Bruce, but they are correct, give the people them license to come in here. They need to stop. What me say? No police are supposed to stop no taxi, no busman, no Lucy. Sister, they don't know where to park. No parking lot in a Lucy. So where they park? In the sea.
And the whole of Kingston is parking lot.
God, what a wickedness to Hanover. Hanover fall from grace to grass now. Now where the man them? So all the taxi man they don't get one now because they one can't get no money. What a sin thing. Police
what you say? What you say? Bone.
You know the police are killing themselves now. So why you take the taxi man they don't do it and they get bun? Hey, mighty God, help. Jesus, help. Church has to pray for Hanover now. You pray hard. Estimate a consent. When they keep servicing, I pray the Hanover. Do me a beg again and save your Samuel. Pray this. We need prayer. Church sister, you know, Macedonia. And it is no joke, Mr. Bruce Golding is correct. You respect yourself. Then go in a son and vote for you. In a son, then tell us, one of the Bronson, to vote for you, sir. He's a very good man. Even though it's America coming.
You have money down at SSL?
Me? What the bank said the 19th time when you take your phone to go in a bank and put up money? It's me that I know, but no, I'm drunk on me.
It is not a bank. It is not a bank.
Put on which money? Me mad, because I put on money. Wait, your position leader now have this business too. You know your friends.
The what?
You know what I'm saying? Your position leader. Cash in a bundle. Now this is your business too. Hey, that I want to be a true Christian. Holy Ghost in my heart. Hey, it is making true. Hey,
when the Bible said it is easier for a camel to enter. If the Bible was talking about you, the Bible would say it is easier for an elephant to enter. But it's Camel it talk about, it's not you. When you say, I want to go to heaven.
How many people might know me as Charlie Chaplin?
God bless you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Undercover lover. Well, all me know right now is pirate thief out the vat. Where them a thief from? Them a thief from pot. Thief from SSL has dead cow fat. God bless you. The Magics Big Love. God bless you, listeners. Ada K. Levy, my producer. Why my ex and why Daniel Thompson. Back with you tomorrow on the hotline. I'm Emily Shields.